Guys, my name is Sandy. Today I'm going to do a video for you on how to sell a home in a challenging or unfavorably market climate. All right, let's get into it. So once again, remember to like and share our videos and click on the little notification button so you'll be notified every time we do a new video. So today is, oh my God, I always forget the date when I do videos. This is crazy. Okay, we're in July. Today is July 2nd, 2025. We're in a very challenging market. People are trying to sell their home. Some people have to sell their home. We have limited amount of buyers on the market. Interest rates are high. There's a lot of political craziness going on the atmosphere. So it's we're in a very challenging condition to sell a home. And that's the case even for builders. So we know that real estate always sells. Somebody's always buying, somebody's always selling. The thing is, if you're selling a home right now, there's fewer buyers there are fewer buyers out there to pick your home, and there's more inventory. So there's more inventory coming up on the market. Buyers are being pickier, they're being very choosy, they're being very demanding in some cases, and that's because they know they kind of have the upper hand. So if you have to sell and must sell, you have to create an environment to get the limited amount of buyers that are qualified to buy in this market. There are deals that are also falling apart. You put the deals together, they fall apart. During inspections, the buyers get very picky, they want all kind of stuff done. Sometimes the sellers don't want to do these things. And then there comes the part of the interest rate. Sometimes they're asking for the seller to, help with the closing costs, buy down their interest rate. New construction is doing that. So if you're selling in an area where you're competing with new construction, you're going to have to make your deal good enough or better, or at least in line with, if you can, the builder. Which the builder are paying closing costs and they're doing all kind of different things. Now I understand that a new construction home and a resale home is two different things, because a lot of times the new construction is new, we know that, but a lot of times on the resale you may have a pool that the new construction don't have. You may have a lot more improvements, landscaping, curb appeal, all kind of stuff, additional rooms, all kind of stuff different from the builder. But when you're competing with new, sometimes most buyers would prefer new as opposed to resale. And if you're reselling, then you have to point out what attributes or features your home have that the new construction wouldn't have. So what are some of the things that we need to do? The first thing we need to do, once we know we have to sell, is do an inspection on our own home to make any minor repairs or anything that comes up on the inspection report before the buyer gets to the inspection report or to get their own inspection. So the buyer is coming to you to purchase the property. The first thing you want to do is say, hey, we have an inspection report. We do what is called a home warranty to our homes, which means what we do is we're like, this home is pre-certified, right? We pre-certify the homes for sale. How do we pre-certify the homes for sale? By doing an inspection upfront and going over this with our client, the seller, saying, hey, the inspection report just came back at our expense. Here's what the inspector said. Here's some of the stuff we need to do before we put the property on the market. So we gotta get an inspection report done. If you don't want to do an inspection report, then at least walk around the home and be objective. And if you think you can't be objective to your own home, then invite some friends and family members to just tell them, hey, act like your buyer, walk through the home, tell me what are some of the improvements that you would have preferred to see, or what can we improve upon without breaking the bank before we put the property on the market. So fresh coat of paint would be some of them. A leaking faucet, just fix that. If you have dated light fixtures, maybe change some out. Amazon sometimes have really great sales on light fixtures and faucets. You could switch them out. You want to declutter the home. You want to make the home neutral. You want to prepare the home to make it look like a builder's model home, for sure. So I want to do all that. Staging is important. The three biggest things of staging is going to be the living or family room, the kitchen, and the owner's bedroom and bathroom. So we want to definitely do staging. Next thing we want to do is we want to price the home competitively. The home has to be priced competitively, guys. So if the market value of the home is $500,000, maybe we want to price it at $490,000. Why, Sandy? Because we want to, even though we're in a challenging market, we still want to present a bidding war kind of thing, right? So we want to have more than one offer on the home. So we want to price the home a little bit below market value so that we could get offers on the property. So we did our inspection, we did our repairs, we did our light payment, we did our staging. We're going to price the home a little bit under market value because we want the buyers to come looking. We know the buyers are going to know the value of the area. So if they know the homes in that area selling for $500,000 and yours is at $489,900, then it's lower, and that will cause them to want to come take a look, which is what you want. Because the more people look at it, the more it's going to sell. Even though they're looking at the pictures on the computer first, they're going to see that that home is priced lower than market value, so they're going to come take a look. They're going to immediately think, oh, it must need some work. You know it doesn't need work, but you want to cause a conversation around your home to get it to sell, for sure. The more people talk about the home for sale, the more likely you'll be able to sell it. Another thing you want to do is if you have older appliances or if it's an older home, if it's 2 years or more, because new construction, the builder gives a 1 year warranty. After 1 year, the warranty is gone. So if the years are older and the appliances is over a year old, you may want to offer a 2 year own warranty as opposed to a 1 year. Why? Because most people are offering a 1 year, the builder is offering a 1 year, you offer a 2 year. 2 year own warranty covers all the appliances, air conditioning, pool equipment if there's one. Some home warranty companies are now covering minor roof repair. And that's another thing. If you have missing shingles on the roof, you definitely want to get that taken care of. Because the minute the buyer comes up and they see missing shingles, they're thinking it needs a new roof. So any kind of minor repair you need to do on the roof, you may want to go ahead and get that done. Okay? Talk about home warranty. Okay, let's talk about, are we going to help the buyer in their closing costs or helping them to buy their rates down? Are we contributing anything on the buyer's side? We may want to think about contributing somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000, $10,000 being the better number, towards the buyer, right, as a concession. So we'll say, okay, we will give the buyer up to $10,000 in seller's concession. And if the property appraised over the sale price, you could also build that concession in the appraised value by talking to the buyer. What does that look like? Let's say we price the home at $490,000. We know it's really worth $500,000. We're giving the buyer $10,000 towards closing costs, and the property appraised at $510,000. Okay. Oh wait, first they offered $495,000. So we're on the contract at $495,000. The appraiser came in at $510,000. You could tell the buyer, okay, listen, since your appraisal is at $510,000, we're willing to allow you to change the contract price to the higher price, and that purchase price difference you could use towards your buyer's concession. So anything above the purchase price, once it's appraised at that value, you could go up to that value and offer the difference in seller's concession. This means that the buyer's loan will become $510,000 instead of $495,000, and they could play with that $15,000. Maybe they want to get it to $505,000 and just have the difference between $495,000 and $505,000 is $10,000. Have that $10,000 towards your closing costs. So that they could also use to help to buy the interest rate down. So you could say you're open to a seller's concession. Maybe you don't give a price. Maybe you say seller's concessions available based upon appraised value. So if it appraised over the purchase price, you're willing as the seller to give the buyer the difference in seller's concession, which means they would then increase their loan amount to whatever the purchase price is. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So that's one way of helping the buyer with a concession. But these are some of the things we have to keep into consideration. We have to talk about curb appeal. Curb appeal is super important. When they drive up, what are they looking at? Do you have a pool area? Are you staging out the pool area? Here is the step-by-step as to what to do. If you're living in the home, it's kind of hard to keep the home in model-like appearance all the time. So what we want to do when we put the house on the market is we want to have an open house. So we want the property to hit the market that Thursday, and if it hits the market that Thursday, we want to have the open house that Saturday and Sunday. That Saturday or Sunday, if you're using a realtor, go away for the weekend. Let the realtor do their job. If you're doing it yourself, send the rest of your family away somewhere. That way you have the home in model home condition for that Saturday and Sunday. That's when you're going to do your open house. That's where you're going to price a little bit below market to create more activity for buyers. It's going to be a little bit below market. You're going to be advertising that you're doing a 2 year own warranty this is what's going to get people to the open house. You're going to be advertising that you are open to a seller's concession. The buyer could use that to either buy their interest rate down or pay their closing costs, or vice versa. You want to have beautiful pictures because the home is staged out and ready for sale. If you take these steps to sell the home, there's no way it's not going to sell. Let's say the home needs repairs and you cannot afford to do the repairs. You could then say the home is qualified for FHA 203K mortgage. This is a mortgage that allows the buyer to buy the home. The bank will give the buyer the money to buy the home and make some change and make most of the vital repairs like bathrooms, kitchen, all that kind of stuff, roof if there's a problem, all that stuff. So you want to advertise that to the buyer. Hey, this home qualifies for FHA 203K program, which gives you the loan, which this program gives you the money to buy and do the repairs that the home needs, because if the home is in need of repair. So you want to just put it out there. Whatever the home needs, put it out there. If it needs repairs, let them know it needs repairs, but if you get this particular kind of loan, you could buy the home, do the repairs, and this loan, the mortgage and the repair amount of money, you only have to put 3.5% down. This program also allows 6% concession, up to a 6% concession. So you could say, hey, we could do a 3% concession, or 6, most people do 3. You could go up to a 6% concession based upon the area you're in, how slow the market is in the area, how much repair the property needs. If the property needs a whole lot of repairs, most buyers are going to shy away from that. You're probably going to get investors knocking on your door. So you want to set yourself up for success. If it doesn't need repairs, we need to make it clutter-free, staging it out, make it neutral, make it look like a model home, price a little bit below market value, offer 2 years home warranty, do an open house. As soon as it hit the market, do an open house that weekend, make it as shareable as possible, those two particular, that Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to get as much people as you can through the door to make an offer. We're looking for people to make offers. If we don't have any offers, we have no negotiating power. So we want to get as many offers as possible. It's a great idea to try to go to at least 4 to 5 offers, which is possible if you follow the tips I'm saying. All right? If you want to go deeper into this, definitely give us a call, send us a text. Number should be somewhere up here. We could dive deeper in it. Complimentary consultation does not obligate you to anything. Remember to like and share the video, guys. We're trying to get as much information out to the public as we possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video.